Why are Japanese people so disciplined? Is it something in the water? A secret ancient technique passed down through generations? Or maybe it's just that mysterious Japanese mindset we can't quite wrap our heads around. From the way they line up perfectly at train stations to their almost meditative dedication to the smallest tasks. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary swordsman in his book, Dokudu, At the Way of Walking Alone, once said, "Do not seek pleasure for its own sake." This reflects the discipline to resist indulging in instant gratification and focus on more meaningful things in life. He is one of the pinnacles of Japanese discipline in modern history. But what have the Japanese people evolved this concept into? Today, there is a term in Japanese, karoshi, which can be translated to overworked to death, a type of occupation-related sudden death. This isn't something that just happens. It's rooted in centuries of culture, philosophy, and a collective mindset that's almost hypnotic. It all stems from the Heian period of Japan and the philosophy of Bushido, a moral code that guided that sect of samurai. Here are the 8 principles from Bushido to learn the Japanese way of discipline. For the samurai, Ji was all about making decisions that were right and just even when those decisions were not the most convenient or the easiest to make. It's about sticking to our commitments and responsibilities rather than choosing the path of least resistance when faced with a challenging task. Ji serves as a powerful reminder that often provides the motivation we need to overcome the inclination to procrastinate. In a way, it's just not about completing the tasks at hand, but about practicing self-discipline and living up to your own expectations. When it comes to you, it's not about fearlessly charging into the battlefield as the samurai did. It's also about having the moral courage to step outside of our comfort zones and face the tasks that we find difficult or challenging. We tend to procrastinate on tasks that feel too challenging or are outside of our comfort zone. These tasks can range from difficult conversations to demanding responsibilities. Kaizen, or continuous improvement, it's one of the most important aspects of Bushido. Kaizen implies that we should constantly strive for betterment, not just in our skills, but also in cultivating disciplined focus and resilience. In the age of the samurai, warriors would devote themselves to ceaseless training and growth, honing not just their martial skills, but also cultural disciplines like arts and literature. So how do we incorporate Kaizen into our lives? Start small and create habits. Actions usually take 21 days to be a habit, so stick to it. Focus on consistency more than perfection and embrace feedback. Jin, or compassion. In modern society, Jin can be applied in our own lives by showing compassion towards ourselves. It's important to remember that we are human, and it's perfectly okay to struggle with procrastination and maintaining self-discipline instead of getting down on ourselves. One of the best acts of self-care we can perform while practicing Jin is to be kind to yourself, acknowledge your feelings, and also motivate yourself to stay disciplined. Or respect. The samurais were always expected to demonstrate respect in their manners, actions, and speech, even toward their enemies. In today's concept, this principle reminds us to respect our time, our goals, and the people around us. In daily life, Japanese people tend to integrate rei into their lives. Bowing ojiji is a physical expression of rei, symbolizing respect, gratitude, or apology. Polite language, kigo, is another way rei manifests, ensuring regard in speech. Makoto, or sincerity. The samurais were true to their words and sincere in their actions. A samurai's word was considered binding, reflecting the principle that sincerity and truth are inseparable from a warrior's integrity. In life, it is all about being honest with oneself about strengths, weaknesses, and desires, and making decisions based on genuine intentions rather than superficial gains. This practice will help you identify patterns and address the root causes of your procrastination. The principle of Meiyo, or honor. In Bushido, honor is a samurai's most valued possession, surpassing material wealth or even life itself. The concept of seppuku, a ritual suicide, was tied to Meiyo as a way to restore honor when it was compromised. In today's society, folding to dishonor is easier and more convenient than living an honorable life. So, being someone trustworthy and reliable is a part of your honor. Remember that your actions contribute to how you are remembered by others. When talking about chuji, or loyalty, it is often related to the loyalty towards the feudal lord. While the feudal lords no longer exist, the spirit of chuji continues to influence Japanese culture, particularly in business and interpersonal relationships. Workers often demonstrate loyalty to their employers, reflecting a modern adaptation of this principle. This can be interpreted as offering your time and effort to help those you are loyal to, even when it is inconvenient. Also, cultivate loyalty not just to people but to values that align with your sense of right and wrong. Ultimately, discipline is not seen as something to conquer, but as a way of life. It is built into them from their childhood. It is a reflection of their core values and deeper respect for traditions. And perhaps that's something we can all learn from.